Hello and welcome. My name is Sanjin, and in this video we will be taking sort of a first impressions look at GitHub Copilot Chat. Now, let's answer the question, well, what is GitHub Copilot Chat? If you use VS Code, not everybody does, but it is the most popular IDE out there. There is an extension out here. There's an extension called Copilot Chat, and it's like ChatGPT, except it's about 10 times faster. It allows you to ask questions. It allows you to highlight your code and ask questions specifically about your code, but also you can basically chat with a version of GPT-3 or GPT-4. We are not sure. That is going to help you with writing your code. So if you're already using ChatGPT with coding, this is going to be way more convenient. Now, a couple of things in terms of how you can get Copilot Chat. First of all, there's a waitlist. Google it, you join the waitlist. Then you get an email saying, great, you've been accepted onto the waitlist. After you've been accepted, there is the official page. Where is the official page? This is the official page. You're going to need to do a couple things. You're going to need to install a special version of VS Code called Insider's Edition. So I've got two versions of the VS Code. Insider's Edition, you'll recognize, looks kind of like greenish a little bit. Okay, if you get the Insider's Edition, then you're going to have to get a different extension altogether. For GitHub Copilot, you're going to get this GitHub Copilot Nightly extension. And then from the Nightly extension, you're going to get Copilot Chat. And Copilot Chat is just going to appear like, where is my VS Code? It's just going to appear essentially like this extra speech bubble right here. So I might try a couple things with it. In terms of the code, I've basically picked some of the worst code I've ever written in my entire life that I'm not even sure what it does. Half of it's been copied and pasted. I basically wrote this little, like a Twitter bot. I'll show you what it does. So I have to use like a fake Twitter account for this. But essentially, you can tweet at my account, and my account is going to tweet back with a picture of what you tweeted. So you tweet with a hashtag prompt, and my account tweets back a picture of that. So if I click tweet at 𝗦𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗓𝗏, hashtag prompt, what's a cool prompt? Image of the planet Jupiter with the Milky Way in the background. Okay, so if I tweet that at me, this program that we're going to investigate with Copilot Chat, believe me, it's, like I said, put together rather hastily. This refreshes every 30 seconds, if I remember rightly. I have tested it 24 minutes ago, so this will work. It will work. Give it a minute. There you go. Jupiter. So yeah, it basically uses the Stable Diffusion API and the Twitter API to tweet out pictures that people tweet at me. Let's explore how it works, because I don't remember entirely. So first of all, we have like 4 sort of tokens and secrets, because Twitter, you basically need to authenticate as yourself, but then you also need an API key on top of that. With OAuth 2.0, you need a lot of stuff to authenticate. Stability, just like OpenAI, you only have one API key. And from here on in, it gets a little hazy. So I'm just going to try highlighting literally the whole program. And I will say, hey, can you explain what the highlighted code does? Okay. It's a Python script that listens for mentions of a Twitter account and generates images based on the prompts provided in those mentions. That's actually bang on. Here's a brief explanation. The script imports several Python modules, 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗟. Yep, Again, this is sort of all made from boilerplate code. Stability SDK. Okay, the script loads API credential and configuration settings. The Spring defines a function called 𝗦𝗓𝗓𝗓. Again, this is boilerplate from Stable Diffusion. I made this in January. And that's really good. That's a really good explanation. The generated image is saved to a file and the file path is returned. And the script defines a function called 𝗦𝗘𝗢𝗢𝗘𝗟 and checks for new mentions of the Twitter account. Responds by generating an image based. Like, that's really what the code does. So let's ask it some more questions. So the code that is highlighted. So can you comment? So can you please give me some suggestions to improve the highlighted code to make it more readable and efficient? More descriptive variable names. Wow, okay, here's the updated version that incorporates all these changes. I'll have to run this code again. Let's see if it works. Keep generating. This is about 3 times faster than ChatGPT and about 100 times faster than GPT-4. And if the code it wrote even runs, I'll be impressed. All right. So let's see what it did. There's a lot of changed variable names. The functions are more or less the same. Respond to tweet, save last tweet, generate image. So we got the identical functions. There seems to be a couple of fewer imports. I'm going to save this. I'm going to run it. Control whatever, exit that. Python 3. Okay, it says it's running. I will have to, I'll have to do that again. I want the image tweets at Sanjin Dedic, hashtag prompt. Let's see if we can improve that last one. Image of the planet. I want Saturn with the Milky Way in the background. The planet is perfectly round. Yeah. Like, this was the most sort of funky, misshaped planet I'd ever seen. So remember, it works on there's a while true loop with a 30-second delay. So it cycles through dimensions, checks for that hashtag. So I might need to refresh a couple of times. Okay. Now, Stable Diffusion is not drawing the best images from my prompts. They are absolutely terrible. But I have to say, I am very, very impressed with Copilot Chat. I mean, this is GPT-4 level feedback. I mean, I can ask something way more ridiculous. If this works, I'll be blown away. Can you refactor the code and implement it using OOP? Now, typically this is event-based code, so you wouldn't want it done in OOP, but I just want to see. Class 𝗦𝗘𝗢𝗢𝗘𝗏. Run self if main bot.run bot Twitter bot. So it I mean, it never even creates an instance of this Twitter bot class by the looks of it. Run self. So like it refers to itself while it's running itself. If it even works, I'll be impressed. I'll copy this. The first two things it did, I'd give it 10 out of 10. This one, I'd give it 7.5. If it does work though, I'll still be blown away. All right, let's see if this runs. Int object not subscriptable yet. Didn't think so. I will Control Z. So we can't really push it to the limits to try to refactor code into OOP that's really, you know, not optimized to be run in an object-oriented way. Tweep error. Maybe this was tweep error the whole time. I'll ignore that. Okay. What if we started something brand new? I'll create a new folder. And the idea for the game is something that actually is very uncommon, but easy to understand. So if it's really, really common code, it's not exactly reasoning. It's just kind of going to hash out what it already knows. So let me just start by creating a file, and then I'm going to describe the game. I'm going to try to do this without really writing any code. And the game I have in mind has got to do with time perception. So let's just describe it. Create a Python script that simulates a time perception game. The game has a X variable, which is random between 5 to 10 seconds. Then it prompts the user. Then it tells the user to get ready to press enter in exactly X seconds. It measures how close the user was to X second delay, and if the difference was less than 1 second, then the user wins. Either way, the user gets to find out the difference in the end. The difference in the end. Okay, maybe this is the future of programming. You just like explain a game and it programs it for you. There is a plan for the script. My God. Then there's a script. It doesn't really use any fancy, it's a system standard in readline. I don't think that that is necessary at all. I'm just going to go with this. I will paste this. I've never really used system stdin readline, so let's just see what it does. Wow, get ready to press enter in 10 seconds. We're going. Oh. The difference between the actual delay and your delay is 9.57 seconds. Does this game work at all? Okay. So this is the delay. And difference is, this is not the game that I wanted at all. Okay. Maybe I haven't described it exactly. The user should be told to press enter in X seconds. The user will press enter, and the timer will then start when the user presses enter. Then the timer will be compared to X. And if the difference is less than 1, then the user wins. Okay, surely you will understand now. There is no press enter now. Good. Press enter in a certain amount of time, seconds. Start time, end time. I have no idea what this bloody thing does. Read line. I think maybe just waits for a press. That's probably it. The difference is the absolute value. That makes perfect sense. Difference is less than 1. This might just work. Second try. Press run, 8 seconds. All right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You lost. Oh man, 1.2. That looks like the game works. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, 0.06 seconds. Okay, there it is. 2 tries, bit of feedback. It made this game. This game is pretty easy to understand, but I'm impressed that it made it in a really, really easy way. I also now understand what the system std and the read line does, but I will ask it, can you explain what this line does? I think it just waits for enter to be pressed. Waiting for the user to press enter, yeah. Okay, so let's push the envelope. I mean, so far I would give it a solid kind of 8 out of 10. It couldn't do the OOP in any meaningful way. It wouldn't even run. This game is easy to explain, but it took me 2 tries. What if, can you build this game with a 𝗦𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗏 GUI? If it does this, then I'm impressed. Rocks up with the steps, has 2 functions. Now I haven't used 𝗦𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗏 in probably a year and a half. So what does it create? It's OOP, clearly it's a class. It creates the game. So there's a label, there's a button, the function. There's probably the best thing I can do is just copy it, play it. Maybe I'll just create a brand new file out of respect. I'll save the little game. We'll call this 𝗦𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗏 game.py. I don't think this is going to work properly, but that's all right. Press button to start the game. Start the game. See, it should tell me a certain number of seconds. This is not working. All right. The game does not work. When I press start, I should see a label that says press enter in X seconds. Then I should see a button. Then I should see a button. And a timer should start, should I say here. And a timer should start. Then I should see a button and press the button. Then X is compared to the timer. And if the difference is less than a second, the user wins. Otherwise, the user loses. I mean, if I'm perfectly honest, no, I don't think I would be able to do this faster without it. I'm not fresh on 𝗦𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗏, but if I was fresh on 𝗦𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗏, I would probably choose to do this myself. Okay, let's see what changes it did. So it's still weight variable. So there's some kind of weight variable happening here. Self.start button, self.start button text. I don't actually understand, like, I mean, this almost looks like a dictionary call. Yeah. This is a slightly different style of 𝗦𝗘𝗓𝗏 code. I'd be really curious if you guys have used 𝗦𝗘𝗓𝗏. Let me know in the comments if this sort of code structure looks good. Press enter in 9 seconds. This looks more promising. There it is. Okay, there is the game. Press the button to start a game. Start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not really, the game isn't starting. Okay. It's failing here. Can you check your code again? Try to trace through the program and make sure it works exactly as the command line script did from the perspective of the user. After about 15 or so prompts, I haven't been able to get this to work. So this should really be a cake ride for GPT-4. So my overall impression is Copilot Chat is 1, amazingly convenient, 2, amazingly fast. It's way faster than any other sort of chat interface I've seen for GPT or any other model. And it's handy when it comes to commenting on your code, but it really is not very good at generating code that works from scratch. So if you sort of stay away from that aspect of it, and quite simply just use it to sort of troubleshoot, debug your code. I mean, if you have the plan and you're simply writing the code as you normally would, I think this is going to be, you know, a 20-30% productivity boost. But it isn't the magic bullet, and it's certainly very, very far from what GPT-4 can do. That's all from this little preview. On the live stream on Saturday, you're actually going to see me build a game from scratch where I'm going to be using this side by side. I will know what I'm doing with the game. I'm going to build Space Invaders. So yeah, that should be an interesting experience. Catch you in another stream.